One of the most American things I can imagine is attaching a flamethrower to an AR-15 or a bullpup like this Hellion rifle. That's what we're going to talk about today. This is the Pulsefire UBF. And I'm going to tell you the features of it, show you how it works, of course, and tell you some of the practical uses of actually owning a flamethrower. Let's go ahead and get into it. As cool as this looks, I'm going to take it off of the gun so we can show it a little bit easier here and tell you about the features. So I pulled that off in about 10 seconds. It's got a quick detach right here. And so if you want to use the handle that comes with it, you can absolutely do that because it goes into the same rail as a 1913 style rail. So it's a really slick kind of setup if you want to just kind of run it like this. Now, overall, this is 6 pounds and 16 inches long. It's made mainly of aluminum, and they've powder coated everything straight from the factory. You have a 1/4 gallon tank and a 2200 milliamp battery. So we ran this thing for about 45 minutes, and that was in between shots and all that kind of stuff. We filled it up 4 times, so we used a gallon of fuel, and the battery is cool because it actually has a built-in voltage meter. And so at full charge, it's at 12.5. At 10.5 volts, it will actually shut the battery off. You'll have to recharge it or swap your batteries if you get multiple batteries. They do that to protect your battery. But essentially, after running it for 45 minutes, shutting it off in between, I think we were at full charge at 12.5. We ran it down to 12.3. So it's got a really good battery life. It actually has a built-in kickstand on this side. So when you go to refuel, you can actually set it down like that, pull it off of the gun, and then set it down level so you can fill up and go at it again. You can use any unleaded fuel, any octane, or a diesel mixture, a 50-50 diesel mixture if that's what you want to do as well. Super ergonomic. So you actually have an on-off switch at the front of the unit here, and then here is your fire button, and it's got a really ergonomic feel to it. You just hit that button and boom, you're good to go. Now what they have as far as safety features, it's an electric arc, and obviously it's got the fuel pump right here, but they also have a valve at the front of the muzzle here, right behind this heat shield, that will allow you to turn this off and on so you don't get any fuel that, or any extra fuel that will just kind of spill out. So you can shut that on and off. There's also a check valve in there as well. So this heat shield right here is fantastic. You can work that nozzle even after you just fired it, and you don't have to worry about burning yourself up. The only thing they really say as far as maintenance is just, these electrodes will have some carbon buildup after some use. So just make sure you keep them clean, and that's it. And these things are lifetime warranty, by the way, which is amazing. Now, if you break it, they even say on their website, contact them, let them know. They will do whatever they can to get you fixed as cheap as possible. They also have a big brother to this. Now, that's something that if you are doing like bigger jobs, you can do, but even something like this, you can get the optional backpack that will give you 4 minutes of runtime. This standard has a 20-second runtime with the amount of fuel that you have here. So like I said, you get that backpack on, now you have over 4 minutes. That's a pretty significant upgrade, and you literally just have a male-to-male fitting that they include, and you hook your backpack up and you're good to go. So if you're doing big jobs, controlled burns, forestry, things like that, that's where this thing will really come in handy, or that's where the backpack would really come in handy. Now you may be thinking, well, what kind of practical uses does this thing really have? Well, if it's just not cool enough for you because it's a flamethrower, there are some practical uses you can do. If you have insects or hives that you need to get rid of, or weeds, or maybe snow and ice and you don't want to shovel. Maybe you do shows. I mean, they even list pyrotechnics and special effects and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, hell, if you're doing bonfires this time of year, or anything like that, you can set your bonfire ablaze from a good distance away. In 25 feet, this thing shoots the fuel out of there. I mean, it really is incredible when you see this big 25-foot stream of fire. It is so awesome. So it's definitely one of those products. I mean, I've had some guns and stuff in the past that have really kind of made me giddy, but this has to be one of the best. I mean, my genuine reaction, what you've seen in the beginning of the video, is just so real. I mean, it's like when you see it in person, it's just so, I don't know, it's just so awesome, man. You know, see this big flame of fire just shooting out. I really enjoyed this thing. And I had a buddy with me. He's one of my lifelong best friends. And he was super excited. And we took some extra precautions, man. We tried to wet the ground. You know, we had water on standby. We had a fire extinguisher on standby. So we were being super cautious with it. But I think one thing that impressed me the most is not only the ergonomics of it and how fun it was, but also how controlled that stream of fire actually is. Now, of course, wind will kind of dictate that to an extent, so you want to, you know, be mindful of that. But we were able to fire this thing off with very little kind of issues. You know, there was a couple of little times where we saw, you know, maybe a stream of fire just kind of catch really quick, and then it just kind of went out. So, I mean, obviously you got to be careful. It's fire. Oh, crap. But at the same time, it's so mesmerizing and just awesome at the same time. Now, one thing they do as well, and I had no idea this even existed, but it doesn't surprise me, California has a range limit on these things. So they do sell California compliant units or nozzles, so you can actually own one of these. I don't know what the range is in California. Any of my viewers that are out there can maybe tell me, but I would imagine it's probably 10 feet or something, you know. So anyways, such a cool unit with a lot of practical uses. They have a bunch of sales going on right now, and this is Black Friday sales. So if you want to take advantage of this, you can actually save quite a bit of money. But if you buy any accessories along with a flamethrower, use the code ACC20, and that'll save you 20% off those accessories too. So a little pro tip right there. Big thanks to Exothermic for sending this thing out, man. What a freaking blast. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I'm so glad I got to do this review. Big thanks to you guys for watching. See you in the next one, and as always, hold them down.